rock throwing, want to be that better than you folks out of your circle. They must go in order for you to grow. Those individuals are those seasonal people. And since you know better, you have to do better. Release the fear of what someone else knows. A kept secret is gossip. Once you speak about it, it's not. Stop allowing people to hold you hostage because of what they know about your past. Remember, we all have one. We have skeletons, and they come out like candy, now or later. Proudly jump into your new sound life with no regrets, no shame, no remorse, no hiding, no limits. Start being proud of your life, no matter what it looks like then. Make the best of it now. Walk in your truth. My faith grew stronger as my life weakened. I began to walk in my truth in November 2015. I left Evanston, Illinois to start a journey in Atlanta, Georgia. And my life experience is that at that very moment. Being the family woman I am, my world shifted. The time had come for me to accept my husband was an alcoholic, and I realized things were not going to change for me if I stayed. Anytime you can leave your entire family and friends and move to a whole new state, that definitely speaks volume. I realized that the change had to come and walk in my truth. Yes, I left it all. I started a new life alone. I started a new job after working for myself for years. I started creating a new circle and started having new life experiences. Now, don't get me wrong, I did not leave behind the people that I value as real friends that I want to keep in my circle. Those people love me unconditionally and will always be a support system for me no matter how near or far we are from one another. I want to talk about my experience and why I continue to walk in my truth. And I'll tell you, the truth started also, well, I'll say it continued also as of this year. Walking in your truth is knowing who you are, accepting your good, your bad, your ugly, but never letting anyone's expectations become your reality. Know your purpose. Never let anyone negative perception of you become your reality as well. Again, know your purpose. Know your destiny. Know where you want to go, what you want to do, how you want to do it. It's my life. Bring forth of what you want to do for you. Again, it starts with each of you. Your life is not left up to anyone. It's left up to you. And you now can make the best of it. I also want to talk to you about the expectations of coming from Chicago West Side. The expectations I spoke about earlier in my presentation. Growing up in a family where alcoholism and drugs were so often common. The expectations was really nothing or looking forward to nothing in life for those individuals who came behind those adults, those parents that was responsible for their children, like myself. I rose above all odds, and trust me, it was against me. I continued to go to school. I became a teenage mother. Again, a mother of 7 with a husband, who I'll talk more about in a few minutes, which was my boyfriend at that moment. But I became a teenage mother. With the help of him, I made it through high school. I got 2 years of college done, and my life continued on going into corporate America. I started my first job at Arthur Andersen, which was a law firm, where they said you would never get in there. It was predominantly white. And when I got in there, it was just that, predominantly white. And my mother always said to me, you will make it. I know you will make it. You have the drive. You have the destiny. You just don't see it right now, but you will make it. And as I go on into life, I looked at, I will make it. I was determined not to continue to live my life like I saw my parents live theirs and other relatives live theirs and live on the west side of Chicago where the expectations was very low in life. So I continue to walk in my truth. It started back then. I just didn't realize it. It started impacting me as I continue to go on in life with my children. My children became my life, my world, and how I wanted the best for them and to be the best parent for them. That's how walking in my truth all became about many years ago. It's just recently started impacting me over the last couple of years. And again, it started in 2015. Also, I want to talk about the impact of 2018 as of this year. I live here in Atlanta, Georgia. My mother took ill in 2017. I would go back and forth to our hometown to visit her in Chicago twice out of a month. I would fly out on Fridays, come back on Mondays, Monday evenings, because I work evenings for the federal government. I would do that as long as I can go and see her and have the time and make time more manageable, make time valuable. Because at this last point, I saw her giving up, and I knew time is the essence. My mother passed away this year. I was home. I had just come back from visiting her. On the 8th, she dies January the 16th of 2018. Me and my husband leaves out to go visit her. Whether I say go see her, and to get the information to start to lay her to rest. We get back to Chicago. We make arrangements to lay my mother to rest January the 27th, 2018. My husband dropped dead 2018, January 26th. So I can stand before you to say, with all these things going around in my life, all these things has happened. Watching the illness of my mother over these last 2 years and the death of my husband right behind her has brought me even closer as to why it's so important to walk in your truth. I couldn't stand before each of you or talk to you if I didn't know me, if I didn't accept the honesty within self or start with me. So I come to you to say again, I have to walk in my truth. And I know many of you all are saying, how is she still standing? How is she still talking? How I have not broken down as I speak, because I know Christ for myself. And he continues to help me walk in my truth. Walking in my truth is being who I am, who I intended to be, and not what others are or who or what they want me to be. Walking in your truth starts with whom? It starts with you, and you. You are your greatest cheerleader. I'll say that again. You are your greatest cheerleader. Once you start walking in your truth, once you start with you will walk in your truth. Thank you for having me. And again, my name is Dawn Mitchell.
everyone, I am so excited to be in your presence. As many of you see my name up there, well, my name is Miki Collier, and I like to say that I am your mind motivator. I know it looks like Mickey, M-I-K-I, but it's actually Mai Tai. I tell people to just think about the drink Mai Tai. Yes, just something fruity, something really good, but it is Mai Tai. Again, I like to say I'm your mind motivator. I love being that extra shot of espresso in your coffee, in your latte, in your macchiato, and for all of my health drinkers, let's just say I'm a little B12 shot in your energy drink. Let me just take a moment and say thank you to Robin Roberts and Lisa Nichols and all of the staff of the Success Women's Conference behind this amazing event. So I celebrate your power, I celebrate your influence, and I celebrate the difference that you make in so many lives. So I want you to do something for me. And it's not just doing it for me, it's really a favor for you. I want you to repeat after me. I want you to say this: I will never be broke another day in my life. Woo! Just hearing that is amazing to me. It does something. I got a story to go with that. But listen, let's say it just one more time. I will never be broke another day in my life. Yes! Woo! I'll be your cheerleader. I will prime you. I will pump you. Just in that, I will never be broke another day in my life. That is so powerful. Listen, it was in 2014, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I was sitting on about 180 acres. I like to say I was with them boys. When we say them boys, that means you was with the country, y'all. You was down there. But trust me, a lot of times people see, I'm from Missouri, so a lot of times people think rural areas don't have anything. But let me tell you something. If they got some cattle, then they got some money and a whole lot of other stuff. But anyway, I was on 180 acres, and I was with them boys, and some drove in, and some flew private jets in. Some had on cowboy boots, and some had on suits. But I was right there at Texas, maybe about an hour out of Dallas. And I was sitting among, listen, I was sitting among men and women of faith, men and women of wealth, men and women of influence. Me, a small city girl that now lives in a rural area, who's traveled all over the world, thank God, via my husband who's military. We've been all over the world, and what an amazing time. But I was sitting in the midst of these amazing people. I'm telling you, I get so passionate when I think about this because it literally changed my life. And I heard these exact words. The words that I heard are the words that we just said. I will never be broke another day in my life. The moment I heard those words, listen to me, everything in the course of my life changed. Everything in the course of my life changed. Not only did money change, but my mindset changed, my mouth changed on how I spoke, and everything within me began to change. So let's just say my entire life changed the moment I heard those words. Now, as much as I want to think that it was about money, because I'll tell you, money did change. I went from being a hundredaire, what I say, to being a millionaire. And it wasn't that I just worked so hard. It was because I made a couple of wise decisions, some really great choices. And it was only because my mindset had changed. And so when I tell this story, you've got to understand that that's the moment that I inwardly heard, not outwardly, I inwardly heard no broke days. And so when I heard I'll never be broke another day in my life, I said, you know what that says to me? I'm not going to have any more broke days. And I wrote it down, no broke days. And so I like to say it like this. Let's just say that this is more than a presentation. This is an accelerator anthem to move your mind and your mouth, listen, and your mouth to a place of manifested vision. I love the word manifestation. That means that whatever you're seeing, whatever you're thinking, now we're going to take it to a place where it's tangible. Have you ever just been like that? Like, man, I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of thinking about it. I want to see it. But to really begin to have it manifest, it has to internalize first. And so I want to talk to you about some power plays that's really going to bless you. And I know you're saying, oh my goodness, we're talking about a mind. Here's the reason why. Many of us have degrees, we have platforms, we even have opportunities. Yet if we don't have a motivated mindset, which is the thing that actually gets movement, then our blessed place, our better place will actually become our cursed place because we will lack the mindset on how to handle it. Listen, you know many of people that have great opportunities, or they have great occupations, or they may even have a great career, but their mindset can't handle the place where they're at. Well, I want to talk to you about that. I want to give you some downloaded information is what I say, is what I call it. So that means the things that's been downloaded in my head, I now actually want to impart into you. And it's great information because a lot of times we think that not having money is a problem, and really it's not. A deficiency of ideas, well, that can be a challenge because you do know people will pay you for an idea. Yet the true challenge is the lack of mastery within our own mind. Let me say it again. The true challenge is the lack of mastery in our own mind. That's what produces. So when you master your mind, what I'm saying is that's what actually produces no broke days. So let me give you the power plays that I have, and I have 3 of them. And I like to say they are the major 3 of mastery. 1, the power to understand. 2, the power to command. And 3, the power to control. We're going to talk about that one. I'm not talking about controlling people. So let me say it again. 1, the power to understand. 2, the power to command. And 3, the power to control. Let's talk about the power to understand. The power to understand means to thoroughly be familiar with your own pattern of thinking, not the pattern of thinking of someone else. You have to become familiar with the pattern of your own thinking. What do I mean? If you are an early morning thinker, you have to understand that pattern and learn how to maximize it. But there's many different patterns that we can talk about. So this is the place, let's just say, past information and now into comprehension. Remember when you were in school and you had to read that chapter and they just didn't want to know that you read it, but they wanted to make sure that you comprehended. And when you comprehended it, it also meant that you were able to expound upon it in your own words in such a way that they knew you had read that. Well, that's the same thing we have to do with our mind. We have to know how to master our thoughts. We have to know how to be familiar with the pattern on how we think. And that's the power to understand. And it may seem simple, but that's powerful. Most people don't know how to understand their own mindset, and they go to a place that takes them far off than where they really wanted to be. So this is also the place where you learn the nature of your mind, which this means the nature of the process of your thoughts. Nature is, it means its activities, the way it responds to the surroundings, the way it acts, or the temperament or the disposition of the character. So I'm trying to tell you that your mind, your thoughts, they actually have their own character, the way they function. Like if you get in certain areas, you know you respond different. So there's certain areas you may stay away from. There's also certain areas that you may strive to be a part of or get into because you know you thrive. Like me, most people, they don't do good when it comes to speaking or people asking them questions. Man, I thrive thrive in those areas because I just get downloads. So sometimes I do better when people are asking me questions on the cuff. And so, because you have to know, again, the pattern of your own mindset, you have to be familiar with that. Here's number 2, the power to command. Let me say it again. The power to command. You have to learn. Now, notice that everything I said is learning. So you may not get a lot of these right off, but I want you to take the time to learn how you think, to learn how to understand your own thoughts. So other people may think you're crazy, but you're like, I understand this. So again, number 2, the power to command. So this means you have to learn how to direct your thoughts with authority. Let me say it again. You have to learn how to direct. So this is not what's coming in. This is now your mindset on where it's going. You have to know how to direct your thoughts with authority. This is teaching your mind to obey your vision. So a lot of times we envision where we want to go. We envision what we want to do. We envision how it should be. We envision how it shouldn't be. But then we lack the mastery to command our thoughts to move in the direction that we say we envision. And so it's good that you thought about it. It's good that you internally saw it, but now, do you have the power to command it? Do you have the power to move it? Do you have the power to direct it? If you don't, you want to take the time to learn that. Have you ever heard the saying, be the captain of your own ship? Well, guess what? A good captain has the mentality, has the mentality to calculate the intended direction. If he doesn't or she doesn't take the time to calculate the direction through the compass and all of the other things, there may be great tools that are there, but they still have to have a calculated intended direction. They have to count up the cost. They have to now begin to command which direction they're going to go in, because if they don't calculate, if they don't command, what will happen is they will get off course, and then they will be resulted in a deserted or detrimental place. Let me say it again. In a deserted place. I know deserted doesn't sound good. That means that if you don't learn to command your thoughts in the direction where you say you want to go, you could find yourself in a place with no assistance, with no help, because you didn't direct your thoughts in the place where they needed to go, where they could get some help. And not only that, you also can go in a detrimental place. So this place can be detrimental to your health, detrimental to your mindset. Again, you, me. I have to understand that in order to master my mind, I have to now grab a hold to the power to command. And then earlier I said that you've got to do it with authority. Authority means, you've got to be assertive. You can't control your mind trying to pacify it and give it everything that it wants. I like to say that your mind will play tricks on you. So, or like this, sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't. So if you're going to command your mindset, if you're going to command and be a master of your own thoughts, you got to do it with authority. You got to be assertive. And then you got to be persuasive. Isn't it funny how we can try to persuade everybody else, but we're not even persuaded in our own mind? It's one thing for me to tell you, declare you'll never have a broke day in your life. But then I go around and speak a poor mouth, or I don't believe that wealth is a part of my life, or I don't believe that I should be healthy or have healthy relationships. Then that means I would have been one that's speaking, but I really haven't mastered. And so what that would do is get me off course, put me in a deserted place, or put me in a detrimental place. So I'm telling you, you have to master, or you have to actually have the power to command, but you got to do it with authority. You have to be assertive. You have to be persuasive in your own mind. It's not